This is NBC Palm Springs.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Sarah Sanchez. In 23 states, coronavirus case numbers are up. In some, those numbers are dramatically increasing. Experts say it's not just because of more testing, it's sick people in those hospitals. Senior White House officials admit they're preparing for another wave this fall. The U.S. coronavirus death toll tops 120,000 tonight. Riverside and San Bernardino counties are singled out during Governor Newsom's briefing today. Our county is on a watch list for rising coronavirus numbers. County public health leaders told us last week outbreaks at places like jails are contributing to the increase. But state officials offer a different explanation.
Focusing on two new counties on the list, Riverside and San Bernardino, where we have over the past many days been in communication with those county public health leaders and leaders overall to have a conversation not just about the spread in congregate settings like skilled nursing facilities or even jails and prisons, but the fact that we're starting to see additional spread in community settings.
Officials say as hospitalizations rise, there's a risk ICU and ventilator capacity could be quickly taken up. And with Riverside County on that watch list, it didn't stop hundreds from stopping by downtown Palm Springs for Father's Day weekend. Now some locals say the rules need stronger enforcement. Our Olivia Sandusky has more.
Video captured on Father's Day at NYPD Pizza and Bar shows a close crowd with no face coverings, concerning some visitors in downtown Palm Springs.
People need to understand that this is a process, right? We can't just go from 0 to 60. We need to find that halfway point. I think the majority of people are honoring that, but a few bad apples spoils the bunch.
And now local businesses like Fruit Wonders say more enforcement is needed.
Not a lot of the people here were 6 feet apart. They weren't really taking precautions. Some, were putting on sanitizer, but other than that, it wasn't really a handle on it.
The council placed banners on Palm Canyon to remind shoppers to wear face coverings and says they've added extra personnel on the weekends to address concerns.
We're doing spot checks. When we see areas, we're asking people to comply. And for the most part, they have been, and we're really appreciative of that.
The city also plans to increase enforcement for 4th of July weekend, despite facing budget cuts.
This isn't about a gotcha. This is about changing behavior. This is about asking people to comply, and we really are finding that they are. If there is a hot spot, if there is some very willful noncompliance, someone could get a citation.
But the city manager says citations are a last resort, as education remains a top priority, and adds that keeping Palm Springs safe is a group effort.
This kind of social sea change, if you will, requires way more than what any local government, particularly Palm Springs, could do on enforcement. This requires everyone to work together.
Olivia Sandusky, NBC Palm Springs.
California has its biggest one-day total on Saturday with 4,000 new cases. And as more businesses reopen, we've been getting this question a lot. So what happens when employees test positive for COVID-19? Riverside County public health officials say once they're notified, county experts begin contact tracing to find out who the infected person has come into contact with. Businesses won't be notified if a worker tests positive unless it's relevant to their investigation. So how do business owners keep up? And should infections be public information? Our Kitty Alvarado has some answers.
Unlike for measles and TB, the Riverside County Department of Public Health does not disclose businesses where employees test positive for COVID-19. Their policy is to contact individuals who were exposed.
When it does impact people at work, we would then reach out to the business and talk to the business directly.
And work with businesses.
If there are measures that would need to take place in the business.
Some businesses like Cliff House in La Quinta are being transparent with the community. They recently posted on social media one of their employees tested positive, but made it clear they did not come into work sick or were around customers. They add they take extra precautions in their everyday operations, not just to protect the public and staff, but because the owner is immunocompromised. Their customers appreciate their honesty.
It's really cool that the Cliff House did come forward and tell everybody. I think that's commendable, and I'd go back there and support them because of that.
The county says it's okay to let employees and community know about a case as long as they don't disclose personal information or try to contact people who were exposed.
We simply ask that they allow public health to take the lead in doing that disease control testing and to be very careful with patient privacy.
People we spoke with and asked on social media are mixed about the county's policy. But Dr. Abel Rodriguez says if we all stay vigilant and do our part, we will be okay.
You have no idea where it's at, and the best thing to do is just to assume it is everywhere. And that's how we're going to get it under control.
In La Quinta, Kitty Alvarado, NBC Palm Springs.
2 stores and a restaurant at Westfield in Palm Desert have seen employees test positive for COVID-19. The businesses include Vans, M. Ruiz Jewelers, and Stuffed Pizza. County health officials require these businesses to undergo deep cleaning, but did not force them or the mall to close. Walmart on Monterey Ave in Palm Desert reopens after undergoing a deep cleaning over the weekend. The company issued this statement saying the store closed as part of a company-initiated program, adding everything they're doing is for the well-being of associates and customers. Walmart officials would not give details on whether a COVID-19 outbreak caused this closure. For the 4th consecutive weekend, many Americans are protesting against police brutality. That includes a call for an investigation into an officer-involved shooting in LA County. John Lawrence reports.
Tension on the street of Los Angeles County Sunday.
We wasn't being aggressive, violent, or anything like that. They just started shooting tear gas at us. And then they start shooting the rubber bullets.
Protesters there demanding answers about the fatal shooting of Andres Guardado.
It's still not real. It's still, I close my eyes and I hope and I pray that it's not really happening.
One of Guardado's relatives says the 18-year-old was working as a security guard at an auto body shop. Deputies say they were patrolling the area Thursday when they saw a man pull out a handgun and run off. The sheriff's office says after a short chase, Guardado was shot by a deputy.
A .40 caliber semi-automatic pistol was recovered at the scene. That firearm had a polymer frame with no markings or serial number.
Across the country in New York, an NYPD officer is suspended without pay after he's caught on camera allegedly using a chokehold.
Stop choking him! No, he's choking him! Let him go!
Officials are investigating the incident, and one person is dead and another injured after a weekend shooting in Seattle's protest zone. Police say they tried to respond to the call, but demonstrators wouldn't let them enter. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
A funeral for Rashard Brooks, who was fatally shot earlier this month by an Atlanta police officer, is scheduled for tomorrow. We're taking a live look now at our Agua Caliente casino cam in Rancho Mirage. Mike and I were just commenting on just how busy it was over the weekend, which I guess we're supposed to be staying home, but still people out and about all weekend long. NBC Palm Springs Chief Meteorologist Mike Everett has a look at our forecast through the next week. If we do have a lot of visitors, welcome. Hope you're staying safe out there. And here's what weather has in store for you.
Well, there's a lot going on there. And you think about last weekend, not only was it the first day of summer on Saturday, it makes people just naturally and automatically want to go somewhere. Psychologically, you're like, summer, it's time to move. A lot of folks were coming to Palm Springs and the Coachella Valley from the coast this weekend. June gloom was fully in effect. About 2 to 5 miles inland, there was some pretty heavy-duty cloud cover. And so, yeah, it was kind of gray and nasty on the coast this weekend. Folks were like, well, let's go to the deserts where it's warm, but at least there's plenty of sunshine there. As we go into this first full week of summer, we are tracking something very interesting here. In the upper levels of the atmosphere, we've got a ridge of high pressure that's pretty much over top of the Baja. Remember how flow always goes clockwise around a high? Well, here's what we're looking at. You can see that flow going down towards the south in Texas and parts of New Mexico. You can see the flow coming up out in the Pacific there, parallel with the Baja. So what that's doing is keeping our flow on shore. That's really important for us because even as we're hot right now, high pressure just a little bit further off towards our north and east is keeping us warm, but the flow is continuing to keep some humidity in the air. So it's not bone dry out there. In fact, take a look at this, 26% humidity, and we never got below 10 today, which is fantastic. Our high temperature today was in the 109, 110 range, which is a few degrees above average. So as long as we can keep that balance, things aren't bad. Wind was very comfortable comfortable today as well. We saw that flow switch around to the north early in the afternoon compared to last week where it was stubbornly pushing in from the east until 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. So all things considered, first Monday of summer was pretty darn good. It's about to warm up. Next 3 days are brought to you by Comfort Air. We'll see temperatures slightly warmer on Tuesday, slight cooling as we go towards Thursday, if you want to call 108 cool. And then we're tracking something very interesting next weekend. I'll give you all the details and your full forecast in a few minutes.
President Trump plans to sign an executive order that will freeze new visas for foreign workers through the end of the year. The White House says the president wants to preserve jobs during the economic downturn caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The executive order will affect visas for tech workers, low-skilled jobs, work and student exchange programs, among many others. 2 more Trump campaign staffers assigned to Saturday's rally in Tulsa have now tested positive for COVID-19. The staffers were only tested after the rally as a precaution for flying home. Overall, at least 8 Trump advanced staff on the ground in Oklahoma are confirmed to have tested positive. At least 2 are Secret Service agents. Campaign and law enforcement officials expect the number of infected staffers to rise. The White House is also defending President Trump's use of racist language at his rally. This is President Trump on Saturday in Tulsa.
By the way, it's a disease, without question, has more names than any disease in history. I can name Kung Flu. I can name 19 different versions of names. Many call it a virus, which it is. Many call it a flu. What difference? I think we have 19 or 20 versions of the name.
Here's White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany said here's what she said during this afternoon's briefing.
Last July, President Trump declared himself the least racist person there is anywhere in the world. Why does he use racist phrases like the Kung Flu?
The president doesn't. What the president does do is point to the fact that the origin of the virus is China. It's a fair thing to point out as China tries to ridiculously rewrite history, ridiculously blame the coronavirus on American soldiers. This is what China's trying to do. And what President Trump is saying, no, China, I will label this virus for its place of origin.
That's what he's saying by using the racist phrase Kung Flu?
He is linking it to its place of origin.
McEnany went on to say the president was very pleased with his Tulsa rally despite that smaller than expected turnout. A hit-and-run suspect is in custody. Witnesses captured this video of a minivan darting down the 91 freeway with a motorcycle stuck to its front end. According to CHP, the minivan driver hit that motorcycle on the freeway and sped away with it lodged under its bumper. The driver of the motorcycle was taken to the hospital. A driver of the van ditched it in a nearby wash, but was later arrested when he tried to report the van as stolen. A petition is gaining a lot of traction online over the removal of a statue in Palm Springs. We'll explain the reason behind this movement tonight.
People 65 and older and those with underlying medical conditions are at higher risk from coronavirus.
We all have a responsibility to slow the spread.
Practice social distancing.
Avoid touching your face.
Wash your hands
thoroughly and frequently.
Regularly disinfect surfaces and objects.
Let's keep everyone, especially those at high risk, safe.
The more you know.
This is where we live. This is where we work, raise our families, grow our food, build our lives. Lately, our way of life has changed, but one thing has stayed the same. Our community has been there to support us and keep us strong, supporting local businesses, educating ourselves on what's really going on, and lending a helping hand. With the strength of our community, the Greater Coachella Valley Chamber of Commerce is here for you.
I wanna be happy, happy, happy. I wanna be happy, happy, happy. I'm gonna be happy.
We're revving up our engines and shifting from
park to drive. Hi folks, Cher Lickman here, Mike Thompson RV. A lot has changed recently, including travel and recreation. But what hasn't changed is our commitment to customer delight. Cathedral City Mike Thompson RV is here and now open, ready to restart your adventure.
Summertime has arrived, and La Quinta Chevrolet is sizzling with huge summer deals. Save big on Silverados on summer sell-down prices while they last. Plus, right now, get more with zero. Drive with zero first month payment, zero security deposit, and zero money down. Like the new Chevy Equinox. Lease for only $279 per month. Start your summer road trip to savings at La Quinta Chevrolet. Visit LaQuintaChevrolet.com today. Find new roads.
While many businesses are unsure of mask laws, one in Northern California was forced to call police when a family walked in without masks. Charmaine Nero reports.
This is a video taken by Bobby Karn during a trip to this Walmart on Folkerth Road in Turlock Saturday afternoon.
I happened to hear some yelling going on. As I followed a little bit and turned on my video, and I realized that it was a father and two kids. He was yelling, he was upset.
Karn says she stayed behind as 3 Turlock police officers escorted this man and 2 children out of the store.
Come to find out, it was because his kids did not have a mask on.
In the video, you can hear Karn talking.
Yeah. Is that what he said?
Before an officer approaches her to explain what happened.
Oh my God.
Let me just explain it. The way it works is any business has the right to refuse service to anyone. Right. So they're implementing the mask and requiring people wear their mask.
Governor Gavin Newsom recently announced Californians are now required to wear a mask indoors and outside when social distancing is not an option. Turlock Police Chief Nino Amfar posted this video online in response to the incident, addressing his officers' response while reassuring the public his department will not issue citations for not wearing a mask.
Nor are we going to respond to businesses simply because someone is not wearing a mask. However, if that business refuses to serve you and asks you to leave, you should leave.
A Walmart spokesperson issued a statement in response to this incident, saying, "Maintaining customer and associate safety remains our top priority. We encourage customers to be especially mindful of one another during the unprecedented time and adhere to recommendations and guidance that we all use face coverings in public places." While Karn says things could have been handled differently by management at the store, she's using this video to inform others.
You wear a mask, which I have mine. And if you don't, then you can't come in, and I get it.
Riverside County health officials will conduct a coronavirus antibody study. 3,500 randomly selected people will be asked to take part in the study, which would determine if they have been exposed to the virus. The study will help determine the prevalence of COVID-19 in our county. A Change.org petition is created to remove the statue of Frank Bogert from Palm Springs City Hall. Bogert was a city council member and later served as mayor from 1958 to 1966. Now, during that time, Section 14, a famous neighborhood made up of mostly minority communities, was set on fire, leaving people with nowhere to live. The petition has almost 600 signatures. Plenty news still ahead when we come back. Mike has a look at our forecast. Mike.
Sarah, there's no doubt that it's summertime across Southern California. Temperatures booming up well above the centennial mark. Looks like they will stay there for most of the week, but as I mentioned earlier, you're going to want to stick around for a look at the weekend. I've got it when we come back.
Having the opportunity to experience the Palm Desert protests from an aerial view was absolutely surreal. Getting to update you from a minute-by-minute, second-by-second basis was very, very essential.
I want to show you a live look from above.
To be able to see that in the helicopter was extremely important for me as a journalist and for me as a person.
NBC Palm Springs, where the reporting is the difference.
Most summer events include a bright summary sales pitch, so here's ours. Any questions? The Acura Summer of Performance event. Our dealers are ready, and with online options available, you can shop our best offers any way you choose. Don't miss it. This summer, visit your Acura dealer today for attractive offers on the Acura RDX. Don't miss this event going on now.
Technology has always been one of the pillars of our dental practice. We utilize the latest cutting-edge advancements like CEREC and iCat digital 3D imaging to provide our patients the finest and safest care. We, along with our dedicated staff, strive to achieve the highest standards, offering a wide range of services including implant, cosmetic, and even sedation dentistry. Visit us today at palmdesertsmiles.com.
Paul McKenna here at the Giant Crystal Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Truck Superstore in the Cathedral City Auto Center. We have hundreds of crystal clear deals waiting for you during our Drive Forward sales event, like this.
Drive away in a new Ram 1500 for $8,100 off MSRP. Or a new 2020 Jeep Grand Cherokee for an incredible $309 a month.
Only at the Giant Crystal Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram Truck Superstore in the Cathedral City Auto Center, or find us 24/7 at crystalchrysler.com.
At the offices of Dr. Roland Reinhardt, your pain is treated like an emergency.
I came to Dr. Reinhardt with very bad sciatica pain and pain in my neck. And after my first treatment, I was pain-free.
I saw Dr. Reinhardt because of the pain in my neck. He treated it as an emergency, and now I feel wonderful.
Call Dr. Reinhardt at 760-341-2360 to live a pain-free life.
Welcome back. Well, we got the first weekend of summer under our belts, and as I mentioned earlier, it's going to feel like summer this week. A couple of interesting things. We were talking about this earlier, and using Futurecast, it's a lot easier to point out what I want you to see here, which is that flow is continuing to come up from the south. Now, no rain embedded in there, but what it does is it keeps the flow onshore along the coast. Good stuff there. It'll keep them cool. It'll keep that June gloom in place at least through midweek. But as long as the flow's coming in onshore, it benefits us as well. It keeps us from being ultra dry like we normally are when we bounce up into this 110 range, excluding monsoon season. Normally the high is located up there over top of the Great Basin, sends that flow offshore. So we got that going for us. It'll be warm, okay, hot, but it won't be particularly dry out there. On the other edge of that high, we are tracking some severe weather is firing up from the Intermountain West, making its way across New Mexico into Texas and Oklahoma tomorrow. We'll have to see how that materializes. As it stands right now, it doesn't look like there's any watches or warnings in place, but that could change over the next 12 hours. This is what I'm talking about here. Dew points in the low to mid 40s equate to about 10 to 15% humidity. So yeah, it's still dry. We still live in a desert, but at least it's not that bone dry 5% that we saw last time. It bounced up to 110, and the time before that, and the time before that, and the time before that. You get the point. Here's one thing that we're looking at tomorrow, very similar to what we saw last week. That onshore flow will keep some of that patchy fog in Riverside County. Not here, but as soon as you go through the Banning Pass, it will be in places like San Jacinto, Menifee, and Riverside. Could be as low as a half-mile visibility in the early morning hours of Tuesday. So if you're traveling on Highway 60, factor that in. There could be some issues tomorrow morning, 8, 9 o'clock. That'll mix up and out. 109 was our high today, 5 degrees above the 30-year average for today's date, 10 degrees below the record, 3 degrees above average in the overnight. 76 is where we got to. 54 is the record. We are approximately 30 degrees warmer than they are in LA right now. They got that cloud cover and the marine layer back in place again. 91 here currently, 93 in Havasu. They were hot today. They beat us by about a good 3 or 4 degrees. 95 in Phoenix, and it's currently 98 in Vegas. They bounced up into the hundreds today as well. Watches and warnings, not a whole lot to talk about. Everything you see in this orangish color here is a form of a heat advisory that's in place. We also have one of those up towards Sacramento and the northern portion of central California there. We'll keep an eye on that. Temperatures booming up into the 90s there. I spoke to my dad this weekend. He said it's hot in Vacaville. 89 in New York tomorrow, 90 in Miami, and muggy. 81 in Dallas, 110 in Phoenix. And look at the West Coast, 91 in Portland, 72 in Vancouver, and low 80s in Seattle. 84 will be your current number at 29 Palms, 88 in Thousand Palms, still holding on to some low 90s down towards Coachella and at the airport. 81 the Yucca Valley, and a very comfortable 52 in Big Bear, 61 in Idlewild. Wind has been very comfortable tonight, hasn't got particularly gusty, but has given us that northwesterly flow that gives us some ventilation. We stay warm until the early morning hours, and then we'll get into the mid 70s just to start your Tuesday off. It'll be warmer than it was today by about a degree or two, but as I mentioned, those dew points really helping us out. 110 will be the famous number from Indio, 3,000 Palms and Palm Springs, 111 from Palm Desert down towards Thermal, 103 in Joshua Tree, and 81 in Big Bear. Your Comfort Air 7-day forecast shows heat all the way through the week, but I promised you a surprise. Look at what happens on Sunday. Tracking a low pressure system moving in that could knock temperatures back into the low 100s and possibly the high 90s.
With over 50,000 professionally installed windows, California Showcase Construction is the Coachella Valley's best energy-efficient window contractor. We do the job right the first time. Our company owner pre-inspects every job to ensure attention to detail, quality, and efficiency.
They did a fantastic job on my windows. I have a lower electric bill and I have less dust coming into my house.
Take advantage of our zero money down financing. Call and schedule your free in-home estimate today.
Sunshine on a cloudy day. You say what can make me feel this way, my girl.
Room for 7 and much, much more. The first ever GLB. Get 0% APR financing up to 36 months on most models and 90-day first payment deferral on any model.
$88 is all it takes to get your AC system tuned up and in shape for summer. At Next Gen Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing, we understand that when the temperature rises, your air conditioner working properly is essential. So we're making it more affordable than ever to keep your system running strong all summer long. Our X-Protects tune-up and 28-point safety inspection is a $178 value for only $88. From our Next Gen family to yours, we're honored to safely serve you.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Dinner with the Drakes tonight? Alexa, ask Buick to start my Encore GX. 4 fillets.
You know this dinner's for their
Kids. Thanks for watching them.
Where's the pizza?
The first ever Buick Encore GX. Buick Sign and Drive is back. Current eligible lessees get this low mileage lease on this Encore GX without remote start for around $282 per month with 0 due at signing.
The Palm Springs Short Fest announces its winners. You can see the full list on their website, psfilmfest.org. Some of the winners are eligible to submit their films to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, of course, for Oscar consideration. Many of the awards came with cash prizes. The films were available to view online this year because, well, coronavirus. Shut that down too. Sports is up next, so stay with us.
This week, Jimmy has Russell Crowe, Lin-Manuel Miranda, and Shaquille O'Neal. And tonight, Will Ferrell and John Legend. Plus, John performs. New Tonight Show at home.
Here's what we want everyone to do. Count all the hugs you haven't given, all the hands you haven't held, all the dinners you didn't share with friends, the trips you haven't taken. Keep track of them. Each one means one less person vulnerable, one less person exposed, and one step closer to a healthier community. So for now, keep your distance, but don't lose count. We'll have some catching up to do.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
With their exceptional performance and incredible fuel efficiency, Toyota hybrids make it easy to take to the road with confidence. And right now, there's no interest financing for 60 months on our most popular hybrid models. And you get peace of mind with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
Your marketing has to change. Every headline, every image, your entire strategy. Cord Media can help. Branding, design, video, web, digital, public relations, social media, and media buying under one roof. Getting you back to business safely and profitably. Find your new normal. Cord Media. Click or call.
From the Valley Plumbing family, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone in the community. The health and well-being of our employees, customers, and communities we serve is our primary concern, and all CDC guidelines are strictly being followed. As an essential business, Valley Plumbing is open to help you with whatever plumbing needs you may have. We have great financing options and low interest rates. For 67 years, big or small, we fix it all at the best prices.
Big or small, we fix it all at Valley Plumbing.
Coming up tomorrow on NBC Palm Springs Today, a recent work study revealed people are not taking their vacation how they used to. We talk about how employers and employees are reacting to the actual situation. Tomorrow morning beginning at 5 a.m. on NBC Palm Springs Today.
Welcome back. Time now for a look at your NBC Palm Springs sports headlines. So remember we were talking about baseball and the players said we want to play, but we want to get paid. Well, Major League Baseball says clubs unanimously voted to proceed with the 2020 season. The league wants to know if the players could be ready to report for spring training camp by July 1st. The league is aiming for a 60-game regular season, provided that the players consent to health and safety protocols. The superstars of the sports world are taking a stand for change. Here's Joe Fryer with more.
As stadiums and ballparks sit empty, the streets are filled with protests.
The only thing that must die is racism. Black lives matter.
It's why the hosts of this year's virtual ESPYs focus not on the names on the backs of jerseys, but on the names of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and more.
Trust us. We know that sports are important. It's why we're gathered here tonight. But do Black lives matter to you when they're not throwing touchdowns, grabbing rebounds, serving aces?
The show highlighted athletes who've long fought for social justice, legends like Jackie Robinson and Muhammad Ali, calling 2020 a tipping point.
This is the tipping point.
No justice, no peace. No justice,
There's no going back.
no justice,
There's no inching forward.
no justice, no peace.
The time is now.
With sports on pause, the actual awards honored leadership and service over athletic achievements, like boxer Kim Clavel. With her fights canceled, she returned to nursing to fight coronavirus.
I can say that the pandemic is my main event.
For so many athletes right now, success is bigger than who has the most Super Bowl wins, World Series rings, or Stanley Cups. It's about equality. Joe Fryer, NBC News.
Powerful stuff. That's going to do it for sports. We'll be right back.
As we live each day with uncertainty, one thing is certain. You must update your estate plan. At the Desert Law Group, we provide the peace of mind you need to protect you and your family from taxes, probate, and family disharmony. Call 776-9977. Don't wait until it's too late. We're here to help you right now. Call 776-9977.
I'm Dr. Roland Reinhardt. I'm a double board certified physician specializing in pain management. Alleviating pain is all I do. You don't have to live with chronic pain any longer. We utilize advanced techniques to determine the precise cause of your pain, then apply specialized methods to eliminate the source of your pain. Please call for an immediate appointment today at 341-2360. We're dedicated to you living pain-free. Please let me help you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard. This summer, we'll be traveling in a cabin where every seat is premium and all baggage flies free. So fasten your seatbelts and enjoy the panoramic views. Nissan is offering non-stop routes to summer.
And now is the best time to get into a new Nissan. With no payments for 3 months. Plus, we'll cover your payments for up to 2 more months or get 0% financing for up to 84 months.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With special offers like 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Now get 0% financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Contact your Ford dealer or stop by today.
We here at NBC Palm Springs are still celebrating the grads of 2020.
NBC Palm Springs salutes the class of 2020. Presented by Outdoor Living Concepts.
Dear class of 2020, this is not the way I imagined giving out my speech, nor the way I'm sure you imagined receiving one. I don't want to make this speech revolve around COVID-19, but I will acknowledge it. Yes, it has affected us, but we are so much more than the class that didn't get a graduation over a pandemic. What I can say is we are strong. We've learned to adapt through a rough patch despite the unknown. I wish to speak on some subjects I hope you can all take into consideration. Although our current lives are on hold, the inevitable is bound to happen. We have or will become adults, which means assuming the responsibility of one. I believe it is very important you all know you have a voice, which is a powerful thing to own because many don't have the right to one. In a few months, there will be a presidential election. It will be the first election that most of us will have the chance to participate in. I encourage all of you to please educate yourself on the matter and vote. Let's show them this land is still fruitful with the success we are bound to encounter.
Congratulations, class of 2020, from NBC Palm Springs and Outdoor Living Concepts.
Thank you so much for joining us on this Monday night. We'll see you tomorrow. Jimmy's next.
We in the house. Tonight, join Jimmy and his guests: John Legend, Mike Birbiglia, and the legendary Roots crew. It's the Tonight Show at Home edition. We in the house, y'all. And now, here's Jimmy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Tonight.